December 11th, 10:40 a.m. This is an official barn log. It's below freezing outside right now. I believe it feels like 18 degrees Fahrenheit, and here in the barn, it's nice and toasty. I wouldn't go as far as to say toasty, but I'm comfortable. I'm not wearing, a dozen different layers and huddled up next to the heater. The heater is running right now. Let me know how the audio quality sounds. You'll notice I've brought back the old setup for the audio. I tried to just do the DJI mic and keep it as simple as possible, but I just can't put you all through that audio quality, at least for any long form videos, like where I'm just going to be sitting here talking and catching up with all of you. I'd like to have a better sound. So as a matter of fact, the video that I'm shooting right now, I'm not going to say what I'm using to record this video. It's something I'm testing out and I'm very interested in it, but I'm not sure yet. This is going to be the first official video that I just shoot with only this camera and just see how I like it. So everything that you're going to see in this video is all shot with this camera, unless noted otherwise. I'm curious what you all think, so let me know what your thoughts are on the overall video quality, and hell, even throw in some guesses if you want. But I digress. The heater is running right now, and it's working beautifully. We have the ceiling finished, just about. It's not completely finished. I still need to go in and seal up some of the seams and tape things up, do a little bit of patchwork where we had to make cuts for the heater, for the lights. It's already making a huge difference. So right now it's about 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's a good 20 plus degrees warmer inside the barn than it is outside. We're definitely off to a good start. So I have some more insulation left over that we didn't use on the ceiling that now I'm gonna start working my way around on the walls as well. Between Tyler and I, the ceiling, we knocked it out in 2 separate evenings. I sleep like a baby. It's great to work with because it's lightweight and it does a good job. It's definitely making a big difference, but it's like $30 a sheet, which is not cheap at all. And it's definitely a mess. So while I'm working in here while also working on here, it's a little bit messy, but overall it's, I think, the best route for what we're going to be doing. Big shout out to Carl for installing the heater, making sure we had the proper power ran out here, as well as running the internet line out here. So now we have solid internet. I can upload directly from the barn. More importantly, I'm going to be doing live streams every single week starting in January. So the Patreon channel members, that kind of structure, that's all coming back in January. One of the main aspects of it is a weekly live stream every single week. Still figuring out exactly the schedule, and what time it's going to be every single week, but carving out an hour or two every week to sit down with everybody to look through photo books together, just being able to actually engage with the community, sort of having the photo night, all of us together once a week. Super excited for that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be doing the first week of each month will be a free live stream. So one of the 4 live streams every month will be free and just open to everybody. So that way, even if you just aren't really sure if you want to do the whole Patreon channel member thing, or if it's just simply not in your budget, totally get that as well. So at least once a month, there will be a free live stream where everyone's invited and everyone can hang out. I'm thinking right now it's going to be like $5 to $7 a month. I'm not sure yet. Let me know your thoughts on that down below. But I'm super, super excited to hang out with everybody and actually just see more of the community and bring more of the community together amongst each other and not just, to me. Being able to live stream out here and having solid internet, that was crucial. So Carl took care of all that. I merely assisted him with running the new internet and power lines out here. It's coming along. I brought my photo books out here a couple of days ago, and they're on the shelf, and the shelf is not finished. It's sagging pretty hard. Old Benny built this shelf, and I told Ben when we were getting all of the materials, these books are pretty heavy. They're gonna need some pretty decent support. And Ben reassured me, he said, don't worry about it. I've built a pretty big size shelf and it's full of books. This'll be fine. And I said, hey, I'm working on all this other stuff. You're going to build the shelf, do your thing. And, well, I loaded up all the books the other day, just took a dolly and a sheet of Masonite and just took them directly off the shelf and then just sat them on the dolly. Worked beautifully. However, immediately, once I got these on the shelf, I could tell this ain't going to work. So the plan is right now, I bought some 2x4s. They're currently all clamped together, trying to get them to somewhat straighten out. And my plan was to just throw a couple pocket holes in the 2x4s and put those underneath the 4 shelves that are going to be supporting books. And just, clear the shelf, prop it up, screw it in, and you'd have some more support there. The more I look at it, the more I'm wondering if I just want to kind of deconstruct the shelf and rebuild it where I know it's going to be rock solid for books. I love you, Benny. Don't hate me. But those are my options right now. Those are the 2 things I'm thinking about after I'm done doing whatever I need to do to make sure it's rock solid. The plan is to get some plexiglass doors on the front of it, just on a couple hinges with some magnets to keep it nice and closed. That way, any dust, debris, things like that out here in the barn, in the spring and summer and fall, the barn door is going to be open a lot of the time. My mower is in here. I'm working and building things in here. I keep things pretty clean in here, but that kind of stuff just naturally accumulates. So I want to keep all the books nice and protected that way. What are your thoughts? If any builders out there, any people, any DIYers, let me know your thoughts on what I should do. Should I take it apart and rebuild it and, maybe beef up the walls a little bit? Should I stick with the 2x4s under the shelf? Do you think that would do it? Let me know in the comments on that one. This week, actually, if you're interested in purchasing a copy of Surveyor, all of the books are shipping same day this week. Thank you so much to everybody who's purchased a copy. I made a little reel just telling people about my book, something that I should do more often, but I have a hard time doing that because the whole self-promotion thing is weird. I talk to a camera enough, but just making a reel immediately, more people purchase more copies. So I really appreciate that. If you're interested in purchasing a copy, again, any last minute holiday orders, make your orders now as soon as you possibly can. If it is a holiday gift, again, they're shipping same day. mattdayphoto.com. You can find everything down below, as well as a link to the sponsor of this video, Squarespace. Being able to self-publish and sell my own books and everything I do, it's all managed through Squarespace. That's where I built my website over 10 years ago, way before Squarespace was ever a sponsor on the channel. They truly are the best all-in-one place to build a website. No matter what kind of photography you do, when I started the website, it was initially a place for my wedding photography where I could show my work and book clients. Nowadays, I use it for my online store and selling my own books, having a place where people can reach out and get in contact with me, as well as my email newsletter that I send out to everybody, just keeping everyone up to date on everything I'm doing. With all the different templates to choose from, drag and drop customization, it's super easy to use, but if you need help with anything, they have 24/7 award-winning customer service. They're always there to help. No matter what kind of photography you do, I encourage you to give it a place to live on your own website. You can start a free trial at squarespace.com, but when you're ready to launch your site, go to squarespace.com/mattday and use the code mattday at checkout. That'll save you 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. So thank you again to Squarespace for sponsoring this video and supporting this channel. Now, I appreciate you all letting me pay some bills. Let's talk about paying bills because this is not cheap. All of the work that I've had to do out here on the barn, it costs a lot of money. And I want to bring this up because I posted on my Instagram a couple of nights ago some gear that I was letting go of just to try and make some funds back from the money I've had to put into the barn. For the last couple of years, this YouTube channel has been my main focus, and it's also been like how I provide for the whole family. My wife left her nursing job at the hospital in late 2021, so since then, this YouTube channel and, the occasional photo jobs I've done since then, this is how I make a living. And I don't know if you all know, content creators, YouTubers, influencers, as painful as that is to say, if that's what you want to call it, like if you know other people in this kind of field and they're just like rolling in money and they're just killing it. But if it's providing for a family, 3 kids, 3 dogs, a cat, I'm not exactly rolling in it or just cruising. I'll say that. So anytime I sell gear or something, it's just for that reason. It's that money is going towards something else. And anytime I sell anything or have sold anything over the last 10 years, I'm always met with a bunch of messages of like, either I thought you liked that or no, dude, just keep it. Just keep it. One, a camera is a camera. They come and go. I've said that 1,000 times on this channel. I don't get too sentimental about cameras other than maybe a couple of them. My M6 and my Minolta, that's really about it in terms of like the sentimental value on a camera. And one that I didn't list for sale, but I said eventually at some point I know I'm going to sell it. The Hasselblad, the X2D. And I don't want to sell the camera. That's not the thing. This all costs a lot of money. Everything for our kids costs a lot of money. Medical things that we haven't even like gotten into or discussed cost a lot of things, and that's just the reality of it. And it's fine, but I'm gonna try to keep the Hasselblad. But even when I took the camera from Hasselblad, before I agreed to it, that was one of the things I said to them specifically. I said, you know, after I make this video, is there a catch, or can I just take this thing, it's mine, and I can sell it the day the video goes live if I wanted to? And I obviously wasn't planning on doing that. You know, I was laughing when I said that, but I said, you know, I don't really hang on to cameras. And if I'm going to buy anything different, I'm likely going to sell something in order to buy it, because I'm not just stacked with cash. All of my money goes to my family and things that our family actually needs, not just my cameras I like to play with. And Hasselblad said, like, it's your camera. Do your thing, whatever you want to do. You can sell it, you can keep it forever, you could set it on a shelf and not touch it again for 50 years. Like, it's your camera, do whatever you want with it. So I haven't sold the camera, it's still here. I had some people asking me if it was already gone. No, I still have it. I was just saying in the conversation when I was selling gear, like, eventually this thing is going to sell, because I knew when I made this agreement, that's something that I can make a good amount of money on, the same way I would have if I agreed to letting them sponsor the video and just pay me outright that way, which again was one of the options. But I knew if I take this and I sell it, I'm going to get more out of, you know, whatever the sponsorship fee was. And Hasselblad said that themselves. They understood the true value here versus a flat rate, you know, that they would actually pay. And I only bring all of this up because people were asking me about it, and I feel like it's worth sharing. Sometimes I feel like there's like a little bit of a wall of like mystery between this sort of thing with like sponsorship agreements and like what you're allowed to do. And another thing that, and if you did say this, because I saw it from a couple of people, don't be upset or don't feel like I took offense to it. It's okay. But when people would message me and be like, how could you sell this gift from Hasselblad? It's not a gift. If this is my job, that was the transaction, that was the deal. If I didn't make the video and shoot with it, I wasn't going to get the camera. And yeah, it's a sweet gig for sure. But Hasselblad didn't reach out to me because they were like, Matt, your work is just, it's beautiful and it's inspiring, and we want you to create, and we're going to gift you, you know. It wasn't that. It was, hey man, you've got a YouTube channel. There's a thing called marketing, so we'd like to just send you this camera and you can talk about it and people will see what it can do and maybe they'll be interested in it. It's not that complicated. It wasn't a gift from Hasselblad, an achievement of my photography. This is marketing, strictly that. And if this job is how I'm paying the bills and providing for my family, and this is a payment that I get where I can use this to provide and pay bills, I don't know. To me, that's somewhat of a no-brainer, but let me know what you think in the comments. You probably already have. Had to run inside and grab a cup of coffee. Real quick, this mug, it was my dad's mug. When we moved into this house and we're going through all of my mom and dad's things, several of his coffee mugs I've kept, his Bill Elliott mug, some Ohio State mugs, NASCAR, sports, all the stuff that I didn't really, you know, care about, but they were my dad's mugs, so I like keeping them and drinking coffee out of them. This was one of them, and it wasn't one that he drank out of like in recent years, but It was one that I remembered from when I was a kid. It was just a mug that he kept, even though it wasn't one he was, regularly using. Anyway, that new scanner that Epson sent, the fast photo scanner, I've been using it, and I'm working on a full video about it. It's awesome. It's got its quirks, and we'll talk about those. But as I've been kind of testing it out and scanning hundreds of old photos of my family, I came across a photo of my dad receiving this on Christmas as he was unwrapping the gift. Which, just the odds of stumbling across that specific photo while I've been kind of, using this mug lately, I just thought that was funny. Last thing I want to say is thank you to everybody who has already watched A Day in Cincinnati. At the time of recording this, it just went up yesterday evening. So I woke up to a bunch of comments and everything, and it's just been awesome seeing all the feedback on that video because it was just a nice change of pace. And already Tyler and I are talking about, other places we're going to be doing videos just like that. So more of that to come in the very near future. We're going to hit it, even if it is going to be in the winter. We're going to get started on it. So I would say that'll do it for this little barn log. We'll keep these going where I'll just pop in and sit down and record and just catch up and talk about everything. Any questions or comments, you guys know, leave them down below. I love you guys. I'll see you soon.